All right, let's truly unpack this. Have you ever found yourself stepping into a restaurant in an English-speaking country? That excitement of a delicious meal quickly shadowed by a tiny flicker of uncertainty?
Hmm.
That feeling, a silent question in your mind? Am I saying this right? Will they truly understand me? Or am I about to accidentally order something I don't
Yeah,
want?
definitely. I think that resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You are absolutely unequivocally not alone in that feeling.
Today, we're taking a comprehensive deep dive into the world of English for restaurants.
Yeah,
Our mission is simple yet powerful: to transform those moments of hesitation into confident, natural, and genuinely smooth conversations. We're giving you the ultimate shortcut to not just being understood, but to sounding like you truly belong, like a native speaker, especially when you're hungry.
and what's truly insightful here, I think, is the unique blend of sources we've looked at for this deep dive. We haven't just pulled phrases from textbooks, have we?
No, not at all.
Instead, we've extracted practical insights from countless real-life restaurant conversations, meticulously analyzed expert language guides, and even drawn wisdom from vibrant online community discussions where learners share their successes and, their common struggles.
Right.
We're really moving beyond simple phrase lists here. Our goal is to uncover those subtle nuances, the underlying why, that makes a particular phrase sound authentically natural, polite, and effective, while another, though grammatically correct, might just miss the mark slightly.
Yeah, it sounded a bit off.
Exactly. This entire deep dive is custom tailored to help you gain not just information, but truly practical, actionable knowledge quickly and thoroughly. We want to help you transition from merely being understood to being genuinely well-informed and confident in any dining situation.
And confidence, as we know, it really starts from the very first moment you walk through the door, doesn't it?
It really does.
That initial interaction can really set the tone for your entire dining experience, whether it's just a quick lunch or, a big celebratory dinner. So let's begin right there with section one, the grand entrance, covering everything from arriving to getting comfortably seated.
Indeed. That initial chat with the host or hostess is your first impression. And it's often, well, more significant than we might realize. It's all about clear communication right from the very start.
Okay, so the moment you step across the threshold, you'll almost immediately hear standard greetings and questions. The most common might be, welcome, how many guests are in your party today?
Hmm.
Or maybe a more straightforward, do you have a reservation?
Right.
Sometimes, especially if they can sort of see your group size, they might shorten it even further to just how many, or even a simple two if you're standing there as a pair. It's just their way of quickly assessing things and getting you sorted.
And when it comes to answering that question, how many guests are in your party today? Uh, our sources consistently highlight that simplicity and directness are really your best friends.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Absolutely. There's no need for overly complex sentences. Think of it as just providing essential data. So perfectly natural and polite responses would be something like, a table for one, please?
Okay.
Or two people, please? Maybe even we're three?
Right.
Or there are four of us? Each option is clear, it's concise, and it immediately gives them the information they need. It lets the staff quickly figure out the right table size for you.
Now, this next point, this is where we uncover a common yet often overlooked subtle marker of fluency. When you're asked about a reservation, many language learners might put together a sentence like, hi, no, do you have table?
Ah, yeah, I've heard that.
While it gets the point across, it's not quite how a native speaker would typically phrase it. The smoother, more natural way usually involves two key parts. First, acknowledging you don't have a reservation, and second, making a polite request for a table.
Makes sense.
So the ideal phrasing would be something like, hi, no, we don't have a reservation. Do you have a table for two, please?
Okay, much better.
This shows you understand the usual process and you're politely asking about availability. Or, if the situation is really clear, maybe you're the only people waiting, you could be more concise, simply stating, a table for two, please.
Right.
That little bit of extra structure, it just makes a world of difference in sounding natural.
And this brings up an interesting question that often puzzles learners, actually. What exactly does party mean in this restaurant context?
Good question.
It's easy to confuse it with, a birthday party or something.
Yeah, a celebration.
Exactly. But in a restaurant setting, party is just a straightforward term. It refers specifically to your group of people who will be dining together. It's just a functional way for the staff to categorize and manage seating.
Right, like your group.
Precisely.
Ugh.
So as we discussed, answering with just a simple number isn't just accepted, it's the perfectly appropriate and expected answer to how many guests are in your party. It's functional, not social.
Got it. Good point. And if it's a popular place, especially during busy times like dinner on a Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
you might encounter a wait. The host might tell you it's going to be about a 15-minute wait, or maybe we're looking at around 20 minutes for a table.
Mm-hmm.
And following that, they'll almost always ask, can I get your name? Now, this isn't for, formal ID or anything.
No,
It's
no.
purely for their waiting list, so they can call you when your table's ready without getting confused. Sometimes now, they might even ask for a phone number to send a text alert, which is becoming quite common.
Yeah, that's handy. And once that wait is over and your table is ready, you'll hear things like, Mr. Knight, your table is ready. Right this way.
Okay.
Or just the simple and direct, follow me, please. In more, let's say, upscale or fine dining places, the service often extends to little courtesies. You might hear, would you like me to take your jackets for you, as they lead you to your table.
A nice touch.
It is. These seemingly small gestures, they're all part of setting the stage for your meal, making sure you feel welcomed, attended to, and comfortable right from the moment you arrive. It's about creating a smooth transition from the entrance to your actual dining experience.
That's a really great observation about setting the tone. And remember, everyone, a warm smile, making eye contact, and consistently using a polite please and thank you. These can truly make this initial interaction, and really all interactions, incredibly smoother.
Absolutely.
Even if you feel your English isn't, perfect yet, it projects an open and respectful attitude, which is universally appreciated and can often bridge any small language gaps. It genuinely sets a positive mood for your entire meal before you even sit down.
And building on that, once you're at the point of being seated, you might suddenly realize you have a preference for where you sit.
Oh, definitely. Maybe you see a cozy booth or a spot with a view.
Exactly. And it's completely acceptable to express this preference.
Absolutely. If you have a specific spot in mind, don't hesitate to politely ask. You could say something like, can we sit outside? If, the weather's nice. Or, we'd like a table by the window, maybe for a nice view. Or perhaps you spot a table you like and just want to check, is it okay to sit here? These are direct, polite requests, and most restaurants are happy to accommodate if they possibly can. It shows you know what you want and can communicate it clearly.
Precisely. These simple, clear phrases aren't just about saying what you want. They demonstrate confidence and clarity.
Yeah.
They allow you to tailor your dining experience right from the very beginning. It empowers you to shape your own comfort and enjoyment, which ultimately is what any good restaurant really wants to provide. It shows you're an engaged customer, not just passively accepting whatever table you're given.
All right, so you're seated, maybe looking around, taking in the atmosphere, and the menus are now in your hand. This brings us nicely to section 2, decoding the menu. This is a really crucial stage where you learn to ask questions like a pro, making sure you understand exactly what you're ordering.
This is where the practical application of language truly comes into play, isn't it? It's about moving beyond the basic hellos and thank yous to actively engaging with the menu and the staff to get the specific information you need for a satisfying meal.
Right. Your server will typically approach your table, usually with a welcoming smile, ready to start the next part of your dining experience. You'll hear common phrases like, can I get you something to drink? Just to start things off.
Theater opener.
Or maybe, are you ready to order, if you've clearly had some time looking at the menu. Sometimes they might be more direct with, what would you like, or can I take your order? They might also offer something helpful like, no rush, take your time, or let me know if you need a little more time to decide, which is just a polite way of checking in without making you feel pressured.
And if you don't have a menu yet, or maybe you need another one for someone else in your group.
Good point.
The standard and most polite phrases are, could I see the menu, please? Or, could you bring me the menu, please? These are universally understood, they're courteous, and they clearly signal you're ready to look at the options. They feel like a request, not a demand.
Perfect. Okay, so you have the menu. Now, maybe you're curious about what's particularly fresh or unique for that day.
The specials.
Exactly. To find out what's special or not listed on the regular menu, you can simply ask, do you have any specials today? Or, if you're thinking about soup, what's the soup of the day? These are great ways to explore options beyond the printed page and maybe discover something really exciting and fresh.
And if you're feeling a bit adventurous, or maybe just overwhelmed by all the choices,
Happens to the best of us.
it does. Asking what do you recommend is a fantastic strategy. Not only does it invite the server to share their expertise, and they often know what's particularly good or popular.
Right, they eat there too.
Exactly. But it also shows your interest in the restaurant's food and the server's opinion. This often leads to a more personalized experience, as they might suggest something based on what you seem interested in.
Now, here's a subtle but really crucial insight, a real marker of native-like fluency that often trips up language learners. Many people, when they realize they have a question, might say something like, "Yes, I have question."
Ah, yes, the missing A.
Exactly. While it's comprehensible, a native speaker will almost always say, "Yes, I have a question." Why is that tiny word "a" so important?
Well, because question is what we call a countable noun, right? You can literally count them. One question, two questions, lots of questions.
Precisely. Without that "a," it sounds a bit like you're talking about the abstract concept of questionness rather than a specific single query you're about to ask. It's a small grammatical detail, but honestly, it makes a huge difference in how natural and precise you sound.
It's exactly these seemingly tiny grammatical points that truly start to differentiate a fluent speaker from someone still learning. Adding that little article adds a layer of accuracy and natural flow to your speech that native ears just pick up on immediately. It's less about being understood literally and more about fitting into the expected patterns of the language.
Okay, so let's dive deeper now into asking about the dishes themselves, understanding their ingredients, how they're prepared, what sides come with them. This is where clarity is just paramount. A very common phrase we hear from learners, for example, is something like, "What chicken cook with?"
Right, it's a bit telegraphic.
Exactly. It's like a shorthand code. It's missing crucial words, and the word order feels unnatural. This leaves the server trying to guess what you mean, which can easily lead to misunderstanding, especially if they're busy.
And this is a perfect example of how the specific phrasing of your question significantly changes its meaning and the kind of information you'll get back. This is where precision in language truly matters if you want the exact information you need. Our sources highlight several natural ways to ask, depending on what you actually want to know.
Okay, break it down for us.
Well, first, if you're curious about the ingredients, meaning what things are mixed into the dish itself.
Like herbs or vegetables in the sauce.
Exactly, you'd most naturally ask, what is this chicken cooked with? That phrasing clearly asks about the components that are integral to the dish itself. It's about the internal makeup.
Got it. So what's in the dish?
Okay,
What about the things that come alongside it?
right. The side dishes. Those accompanying items like rice, potatoes, or vegetables. The super common, friendly, and concise way to ask is, what comes with this chicken?
Ah, comes with. That's a great phrase to remember.
It really is. It directly asks about the accompaniments
Right.
and avoids any confusion about whether you mean ingredients or sides. Super useful.
Okay, and the third possibility. How it's actually made.
Exactly.
Mm.
If your interest is in the preparation method, like, is it grilled, fried, baked, pan-seared? The correct phrasing would be, how is this chicken cooked? This asks specifically about the cooking technique used. Understanding this difference lets you confidently choose dishes based on how you like your food prepared.
Wow, okay. You see the huge difference those little words like is or comes with make?
Yeah.
And getting the word order right, it takes your question from being a bit confusing to a complete natural query that a native speaker understands instantly. It's not just about grammar rules, it's about communicating efficiently.
And let's also touch upon asking about taste and texture. These are just as important for getting a meal you'll actually enjoy and avoiding, any unpleasant surprises.
Definitely. Like spiciness. Instead of a slightly clunky phrasing like, okay, and the rice, is it spicy?
Yeah.
A much more natural and common way to ask is simply, is the rice spicy? In English, those yes-no questions very often start with an auxiliary verb like is, are, do, or does. Getting that basic sentence structure right makes your questions flow correctly and sound much more conversational.
And when it comes to texture, say, you're asking about chicken skin, choosing your adjectives carefully is really important.
How so?
Well, a phrase like, is it skin grilled hard, can sound awkward. And hard might imply something tough or difficult to chew, which is usually not what you want in food.
Right, sounds negative.
Exactly. More natural and positive options would be, is the chicken skin well grilled? Or even better, is it crispy? These terms positively describe a desirable texture, making your preference clear and polite.
Okay, crispy is a good one. And sometimes you just need a simple definition for something unfamiliar on the menu, right? Like an ingredient you've never heard of.
Absolutely. In those cases, what is sour cream is perfectly fine. No need to overcomplicate it. Sometimes simple is genuinely best. Don't feel you have to make every sentence complex.
Good advice.
Mastering these specific question formats and these subtle nuances is genuinely key to avoiding misunderstandings and making sure you get exactly what you imagined when you read the menu. It empowers you to feel fully in control of your order and, by extension, your whole dining experience. It allows for a truly tailored meal.
So you've asked your questions, you understand the menu, you've made your choice. This brings us logically to section 3, placing your order. And this is a stage where politeness isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely key for a smooth interaction.
Indeed. In pretty much any service interaction, but especially in a restaurant setting, a courteous and slightly indirect approach makes a significant difference in how your request is perceived and how smoothly everything goes.
Okay, so a frequent phrase we often hear from language learners is something direct like, I want chicken, or maybe I want juice orange.
Yeah, the I want trap.
Exactly. While it's technically understandable in a restaurant context, this direct phrasing can often sound a little abrupt, almost like a demand rather than a polite request. It just lacks that subtle softening that native English speakers typically use when they're the customer interacting with service staff.
And if we think about this in the broader context of service interactions, politeness isn't just about, having good manners. It's a deeply ingrained cultural expectation in many English-speaking places.
Yeah.
A more courteous and, frankly, far more common way to place your order is to use I'd like, which of course is short for I would like,
Right.
or I'll have, which is short for I will have. These phrases effectively soften the request. They make it sound less like a command and more like a polite preference. They convey respect for the server and the service they're providing. It's a subtle but really powerful shift in tone.
So instead of that direct, I want chicken, you'd comfortably and naturally say, I'd like the grilled chicken, please, or I'll have the pasta with vegetables. These phrases are really the standard currency for ordering in English-speaking restaurants. Using them will make you sound much more natural and polite. They're kind of your go-to phrases for ordering food.
And one subtle but really fascinating point here is the use of the definite article the.
Ah, the. Tell us more.
When you say I'll have the chicken, you're implicitly referring to a specific chicken dish that's listed on the menu, one that's known to both you and the waiter. It's almost like you're pointing to it on the menu with your words.
Okay.
If you simply said, I'll have chicken, it sounds much more general, almost like you're open to any kind of chicken preparation, not a specific one from the menu. That little word the makes your order wonderfully clear and specific, which is really important in a restaurant where dishes have distinct names and methods of preparation.
That makes sense. And the waiter might also address people individually in your group asking, and for you, Sir Miss. And you can respond directly, maybe, for me, the fried rice, or perhaps if you're dining with others and deciding together, can we share the pizza? These are also perfectly polite and common ways to state your individual order or signal a plan to share. So remember these as your key phrases for ordering your main meal. I'll have the steak, please, or I'll take the special of the day. They convey both confidence and courtesy.
Now, shifting our focus slightly to drinks, similar principles of politeness and correct phrasing apply. You want to make sure your beverage order is clear and well received, too.
Right. For drinks, a frequent phrase we hear from learners is, I want juice orange, or sometimes tacked on awkwardly, and drink, I want juice orange.
Yeah, the word order and the abruptness again.
Exactly. The word order is incorrect, and that and drink part can sound a bit jarring, lacking the smooth flow of natural conversation.
So when we refer to a type of juice in English, the standard convention is to put the fruit or the main ingredient before the word juice. It should always be orange juice, just like you'd say apple juice or grape juice.
Okay, fruit first.
Fruit first, and again, for politeness, I'd like is strongly preferred over I want. This rule applies pretty broadly to many compound nouns describing drinks.
So putting it all into practice, you'd say something like, a bottle of water, please. Or can I get an iced tea? If you're just having one thing, the simple, just a coffee for me, works beautifully. And combining it all, a polite sequence could sound like, thank you. And for a drink, I'd like orange juice. It sounds so much more complete and natural, doesn't it?
It really does. And when you order water, the server might ask, still or sparkling?
Ah, yes. A water question.
The most natural and common responses are simply, still water, please. Or perhaps just tap water, please, rather than trying to say normal water. Well, normal water isn't technically wrong. Still water, for non-carbonated, or tap water, water from the faucet, usually free, are the standard terms used in dining. You can also make specific requests like, a glass of water with lemon, or specify on the rocks if you want ice, or very clearly say no ice if you prefer your drink without it. These little details help you get exactly what you want.
These relatively small changes in politeness and grammatical accuracy really help you blend in and communicate effectively. They ensure your order is understood precisely as you intend, from the exact cooking of your main course right down to the type of water you prefer. They just contribute to a more relaxed and positive dining experience for everyone involved.
And beyond just picking things straight off the menu, sometimes your needs require a little bit of adjustment, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
This leads us nicely into Section 4, customizing your order, covering those special requests and, crucially, dietary needs.
That's such a vital point. It's a very common situation. You need to change something about a dish. Maybe you have an allergy, or you simply don't like a particular ingredient, or maybe you have a strong preference for how you want your food cooked. This is where mastering the art of customizing your order politely and clearly really comes into its own.
And it is absolutely unequivocally okay to ask for modifications to a dish. Most restaurants are generally very accommodating, especially when it comes to dietary needs or strong preferences. The key is how you ask.
So what are some polite ways?
Well, if you want to omit ingredients, you can simply say, no onions, please, or frame it as a question, can I have this without cheese? These are direct, clear, and unambiguous.
Okay. And this next one is a common grammatical point that makes a big difference. Instead of saying something like, I want it more cooked.
Ah, the missing ed.
Exactly. The correct and natural phrasing is, I want it more cooked. That ed ending is crucial here. It transforms cook from a verb into an adjective, describing the state of the food. So for a cooking preference, you'd phrase it like, can I get the eggs well done? Or if maybe the food has already arrived and isn't quite right, could this be cooked a little more, please?
Good distinction. And for managing spice level, you can ask, can you make it less spicy? Or if you want to avoid spice altogether, can you make this without the spice? Pretty straightforward.
Right.
And if you're looking to substitute one component of a dish for another, like swapping fries for something healthier,
A common request.
very common. A perfectly acceptable phrase is, can I change the fries to a salad? This clearly indicates your desired swap.
I think a key takeaway when making these special requests is that you generally don't need to over-explain or apologize too much. Being polite, direct, and clear in your phrasing is really the essence of confident restaurant English. The less ambiguity, the better the chance you get exactly what you asked for. This next point is truly vital, maybe the most important for some people, ensuring your health, safety, and comfort when dining out. Whether you're managing a severe allergy, a food intolerance, or have specific dietary preferences for ethical or health reasons, clear and unambiguous communication is absolutely crucial.
Absolutely paramount. For general dietary concerns or potential allergens, you might phrase it as, I can't eat peanuts. Is that okay? The implication being, is this dish safe for me? For specific intolerances, a direct approach is usually best. I'm lactose intolerant. Do you have a dairy-free option? These phrases get straight to the point, alerting the staff to your needs immediately so they can guide you or check with the kitchen.
And here's another common correction to be aware of that really polishes your phrasing. A learner might say something like, I don't like milk things.
A bit vague, perhaps.
Yeah, understandable, but a more natural and encompassing way to express this would be, I don't like dairy products, which covers milk, cheese, yogurt, etc. Or maybe even more simply, I don't like creamy things, if that's the specific texture or type of dish you mean. It's just more precise and sounds more like how a native speaker would phrase it.
You can also explicitly state your dietary needs more broadly. For instance, I'm on a diet, if you're looking for lighter recommendations.
All right.
Or, more seriously, I'm allergic to wheat. Or I'm allergic to dairy products, nuts, shellfish. Be specific about the allergen. You can state, I'm a vegetarian. Or I don't eat meat pork. A very useful proactive tip. Many restaurants now, especially those attuned to dietary needs, often have a dedicated menu or list with allergy information readily available. Don't hesitate to ask for it. Do you have an allergy menu available? It can be a massive help in navigating your choices safely and confidently.
Knowing and confidently using these phrases truly empowers you to dine safely and comfortably, whatever your dietary needs or preferences might be. It gives you the peace of mind to speak up for your health and ensures you can actually enjoy your meal without unnecessary worry or risk.
Now, let's transition into Section 5, the dining experience itself. This covers the general interactions that happen during your meal and, just as importantly, how to confidently and politely handle any problems or complaints that might unfortunately arise.
Right, because things aren't always perfect. Okay, so throughout your meal, your server will periodically check in with you. They'll use friendly, standard phrases. You'll often hear, enjoy your meal, or maybe the slightly more formal French loan phrase, bon appetit.
Hmm.
Later on, as you're eating, they might approach with, can I get you anything else? Or maybe, how is everything tasting? Or would you like me to take that, as they clear empty plates? These are just routine check-ins to make sure you're comfortable and satisfied.
And just as they check on you, you might need to initiate a request yourself during the meal. Maybe you need more water or something else. These requests should always remain polite and clear. For instance, could we have some more bread, please? If the bread basket is empty.
A classic request.
Indeed. Or, could you please bring me some napkins if you've run out? Or perhaps, can I get some extra sauce on the side? These are perfectly natural and courteous requests that help ensure your meal continues smoothly without interruption.
It's also worth remembering that ordering food doesn't have to be purely, transactional. If you feel comfortable and the atmosphere seems right, a little bit of small talk can actually make the dining experience more relaxed and personal. It's about building a momentary human connection.
Good point.
Well, for instance, you could try asking, what's your favorite dish here? If you're genuinely curious about their recommendations. Or, if you're exploring local food, is this a local specialty? That shows interest in the culture. A simple, appreciative comment like, this smells amazing, as your food arrives, can go a long way. And honestly, don't underestimate the power of a simple, the food was really good, thank you, at the end of the meal. It can brighten the server's day and acknowledges their effort. It's about that genuine human interaction.
Expanding on that, asking questions about timing and portion sizes is also entirely normal. It shows you're thoughtfully planning your meal, maybe if you have theater tickets afterwards or if you're considering sharing dishes.
Right.
Phrases like, how long will the food take? Are common if you're on a bit of a schedule. Asking, is this a big portion? Helps you manage your appetite or decide if you need a starter. Can two people share this? Is great for trying multiple things. How many pieces come with this? Is useful for things like dumplings or shrimp. And is this enough for one person? Helps avoid ordering too much or too little. You can also directly ask, what comes with this dish? For clarity on sides. Or, is this a full meal or just a snack? To understand the size and scope of the offering. These are all perfectly legitimate questions.
All these different interactions, from placing your order to maybe a bit of small talk, they all contribute to helping you feel more comfortable and at ease in the restaurant setting. Plus, they provide invaluable opportunities for real-world English practice, reinforcing what you've learned in a live, dynamic context.
Absolutely. But while we always hope every dining experience goes off without a hitch, sometimes things don't go perfectly, do they?
Unfortunately, no.
Knowing how to politely and calmly address an issue is just as crucial as knowing how to order correctly in the first place.
Yeah.
It's important not to be afraid to speak up. Restaurants generally want you to have a good experience and will usually appreciate you bringing an issue to their attention respectfully, so they have a chance to fix it.
So how do you get their attention politely if something's wrong?
The most polite and universally understood way to catch a server's attention is simply, excuse me,
Just excuse me.
just excuse me. It's respectful, it's effective, and it's not demanding. It works in almost any situation.
Okay. Now, let's maybe walk through some common mistakes language learners might make when they do encounter problems and how to correct them naturally based on, real-life scenarios. For a general problem, instead of saying something like, excuse me, I have a problem with my food.
That missing egg again?
Exactly. The natural way to say it is, excuse me, I have a problem with my food. Remember our earlier point. Problem is a countable noun, just like question. So it almost always needs that article a when you're talking about a single issue. It's fundamental but easily missed.
Okay, what about describing something that's already happened, like a mishap?
Right. You need the correct past tense. For instance, if you were to say, I burned my tongue, it sounds like it's happening right now, or maybe it's a general statement about yourself.
Yeah.
But if it has already happened because the soup was too hot, the correct phrasing is, the soup is too hot, I burned my tongue. That ed ending for the simple past tense is absolutely vital for accuracy when talking about completed events.
Makes sense. What about simple agreements?
If someone asks if something is okay, maybe offering you something you don't need, and it is okay, but you're tempted to just say no, okay, or is okay, remember to add the subject and verb to make it a complete and natural thought. So the fluent response is usually, no, it's okay, thank you, or just, It's okay. It provides that necessary grammatical structure.
All right. And discussing how well meat is cooked, if it's not cooked enough.
If your steak isn't cooked enough, saying is not cooked is certainly understandable, but the more natural, precise, and common culinary term you'd hear and use in a restaurant setting is undercooked.
Line of goods, okay.
This term is specific and efficient in conveying the exact issue. And similarly, if it's cooked too much, the standard term is overcooked.
Got it. And we mentioned cooked as an adjective earlier.
Yes. Building on that point, when describing how you want something prepared, like saying you want it more cook, the correct adjective form is always, I want it more cooked. That ed ending consistently transforms the verb cook into an adjective describing the food's state.
Okay. How about comparisons, like saying something is really hard?
If you want to say the bread is very hard, saying the bread is hard like rock, while understandable, the more idiomatic and natural phrase in English is hard as a rock.
As a rock.
Yes, it's a fixed expression, a common simile. While, like a rock would probably be understood, as a rock is the standard idiomatic comparison and just sounds far more native.
Good tip. Now, this next one feels really common. When something you asked for hasn't arrived.
Oh, yes. This is a very, very common pitfall for language learners. You might hear, I know, get the water I ask.
Right. Lots missing there.
Exactly. This needs two important corrections to sound natural. It should be. I didn't get the water I asked for.
Okay. Didn't get and asked for.
Yes. We use didn't get for negative past actions, not receiving something, and asked for specifically when talking about requesting something. Putting those together makes it sound complete, accurate, and much more fluent.
Okay. And describing quality if something is just not great.
If something is today a little bit bad, it sounds incomplete. We need an article and a subject to make it flow naturally. The correct and smoother phrasing would be something like, today it's a little bit bad. That small phrase, it's a little bit, adds naturalness and also softens the complaint slightly, making it sound less blunt or critical.
Right. A bit more tactful. And finally, double comparatives.
Ah, yes, avoid those. If you say, I wait for the food more better now, remember that better already inherently means more good, so more better is grammatically incorrect and redundant. The natural way to phrase that thought is, okay, I'll wait for the food to be better now. Just better is all you need, no more.
Perfect. And beyond these specific corrections, there are other common, polite phrases useful for addressing various problems, aren't there?
Definitely.
You could say, this isn't what I ordered if you clearly received the wrong dish. My food is cold, which is a straightforward complaint. I asked for no eggs, but there are eggs, when a specific modification wasn't followed. I think this is someone else's order, if there seems to be a complete mix-up. Or, for more serious issues like allergies, sorry, but I can't eat this, I have an allergy.
Yeah.
These are all direct, yet polite ways to highlight an issue that needs attention.
And what happens if something you wanted just isn't available?
Right. If a particular dish is unavailable, you'll hear the staff inform you with phrases like, I'm sorry, we're all out of the salmon, or we're sold out of the Caesar salad. The phrase sold out specifically means they have no more of that particular item left for the day. They can't make any more.
Okay, sold out. Got it. And what if the waiter makes a mistake? Maybe about your order or the bill. How do you correct them politely?
If the waiter has genuinely made a mistake regarding a detail, and you need to correct them politely but firmly, a slightly more formal but very clear way to say you are wrong is, I am afraid you are mistaken. It's firm in its correction, but maintains a level of respect.
I am afraid you are mistaken.
Okay, useful for tricky situations. And if you've been waiting for what feels like forever for your food.
Yeah, that can be frustrating. You can politely inquire about its status. You might say, we've been waiting quite a long time. Will it be much longer? Or perhaps, is our meal on its way? You could also ask more generally earlier on, how long will it take? And they might respond with an estimate like, it'll take about 20 minutes. And in a group setting, what if someone else offers to handle a problem?
Right. In a group dining situation, if someone in your party notices an issue and offers to deal with it, they might say, don't worry, I'll take care of it. This just means they will be the one to speak to the server. And if the waiter needs to go find information for you, maybe about an ingredient or the wait time, a common phrase you'll hear from them is, I'll just go and check. These are all just part of the natural flow of communication and problem resolution in a restaurant.
These scenarios really represent practical, real-life situations where confident and precise communication truly makes a tangible difference in your overall dining experience. It can turn potential frustration into a smooth and satisfactory resolution.
Absolutely. And once your hopefully delicious meal is complete, the final yet crucial step in the dining process is requesting the bill and handling the payment. This part of the experience also has its own set of customs and common phrases that are really important to master for a smooth finish.
Okay, the end game.
Exactly. And a significant cultural difference in many English-speaking countries compared to perhaps some other parts of the world is that the waiter will almost never bring the bill or check to your table until you explicitly ask for it.
Right, they don't want to rush you.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So it's not considered rude to ask. In fact, it's completely normal and absolutely expected. So don't be shy or sit there waiting. Indefinitely signaling you're ready to pay is part of the standard dining etiquette.
Okay, so this is where you'll hear those two words, bill and check.
That's right. Both are perfectly acceptable, but there's a slight regional preference we should mention. Check is generally more common in American English.
Like check, please.
Exactly. While bill is more prevalent in the UK, Australia, and other Commonwealth countries, so you have options. You can politely say, "Can I have the bill, please?" Very common and polite, especially in the UK, Australia, or "Could I have the check, please?" Equally common and polite in the US.
Are there quicker ways?
Sure. More direct, but still very common. Options include the concise, "the bill, please," or "the check, please." For an even softer approach, you could add a little softer, like, "I'll take the check bill when you have a chance."
Nice and relaxed.
Yeah. And often, if the waiter comes by and asks anything else, a perfect response to signal you're finished and ready to pay is, "No, thank you, I'm ready for the check bill." Or, more generally to your server, "We're ready to pay."
Okay, now here's a common mistake, and its correction. When the waiter is wrapping things up, maybe clearing the last plates, and asks, "Is that everything?" a learner might respond with something like, "Yes, no more, thank you."
A little abrupt again.
Yeah, and not quite natural. The more fluent way to respond is, "Yes, that's all, thank you," or simply, "Yes, that's everything, thanks." This clearly and concisely indicates that you are completely finished ordering or receiving items and are ready to move to the next stage, which is usually payment.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how universal nonverbal communication can be, even for this step.
Like a hand signal.
Exactly. Even across different cultures, catching the server's eye and miming, signing a piece of paper in the air, is a widely understood sign for requesting the bill. Even if you're planning to pay by card these days, it still works.
Right, the little signature motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And specifically in the U.S., a quick check mark drawn in the air with your finger is also a common, discrete, visual cue for the check. These nonverbal signals can be incredibly helpful if you're struggling to catch their attention verbally, or maybe if you're in a very noisy environment.
Good backup plan. Now, before actually settling up, you might need to confirm the payment method, right? Which is totally normal.
Absolutely. You can ask, "Do you take credit card?"
Yeah.
Or maybe more generally, "Can I pay by card?" if you prefer using plastic.
Yeah.
Alternatively, "Can I pay in cash?" if you're planning to use physical money. These are just standard questions to clarify payment options and avoid any last-minute surprises or needing to find an ATM.
Okay. Now, this next one brings up an especially important question, particularly when you're dining out with friends or colleagues. The whole concept of splitting the bill.
Ah, yes, the potential for awkwardness.
It can be, because that phrase, splitting the bill, can actually be a bit ambiguous, can't it?
It really can. It could mean dividing the total cost exactly equally among everyone present, regardless of what they ordered. Or it could mean each person pays for exactly what they personally ordered and consumed. To ensure absolute clarity and avoid any, well, awkward calculations or disagreements later, it's usually best to be specific.
So how do you specify?
Well, for separate payments, where each person pays only for their own items, you should explicitly state, "Can we pay separately?" Or, "Could we have separate checks, please?" This makes it crystal clear that each individual needs their own itemized bill or receipt.
Okay, separate checks, that's clear.
Very clear. Now, if you're okay with a more ambiguous splitting, maybe everyone ordered similarly priced items. Phrases like "let's split it" or "let's share the bill" are common. But be aware, these often default to simply dividing the total amount evenly by the number of people, which can lead to confusion or feel unfair if some people ordered significantly more expensive items than others.
Right, and there's that idiom too, isn't there, about the Dutch?
Ah, yeah, going Dutch. This idiom specifically means that each person pays for their own share of the meal, essentially, paying separately.
Yeah.
Historically, it was indeed often used in the context of dates, perhaps suggesting financial independence.
Right.
but it's now sometimes used more generally just to mean everyone pays their own way,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the occasion or the relationship between the diners. It's a handy shorthand for everyone pays for themselves.
Good to know. And finally, tipping. That varies a lot.
Hugely. Understanding tipping etiquette is crucial, as customs vary significantly across different English-speaking countries and even regions within countries. To make sure you navigate these social expectations politely and appropriately, you might need to ask,
Hmm.
is service included? This helps you avoid double tipping if a service charge has already been automatically added to your bill, which sometimes happens, especially for larger groups. Or, if you're paying with cash and want to leave a cash tip, you might ask, do I leave the tip on the table? Just to confirm the preferred method.
Yeah.
Being informed about local tipping norms demonstrates cultural awareness and respect and avoids any awkwardness.
Mastering these phrases and understanding these subtle customs just ensures a smooth and confident departure from the restaurant. It leaves you feeling entirely in control of the whole dining transaction, right down to the very last penny or cent.
And, our deep dive into restaurant English wouldn't really be complete without expanding our knowledge just a little bit beyond the traditional sit-down restaurant experience. Let's briefly explore those quick service options like takeaway, delivery, fast food, and cafes, because they have their own unique linguistic nuances too.
Good idea. Because you don't always want to sit down and eat at the restaurant, do you? Sometimes you just want to take your food home to enjoy later, maybe on the sofa.
Exactly. For this, you can say, can I get this to go, please? Which is extremely common in the U.S.
To go? Okay.
Or, I'd like to order for takeaway, which is the more prevalent phrase you'll hear in the UK and maybe Australia. Both are widely understood and clearly signal your intention to eat the food somewhere else.
And ordering by phone for delivery. That's huge now.
Incredibly convenient and popular. When making that call, you typically start with a clear statement of why you're calling. Hello, I'm calling to order delivery. Then be very clear and concise about your order. Can I have one large pizza with cheese and pepperoni? Or maybe 2 chicken burgers and 2 fries?
Simple and direct.
Yes. Then the crucial next step is providing your location. Here's my address. Or stating clearly, my name is your name and my address is your full address. You'll also probably want to manage your expectations by asking, how long will it take? And don't forget to confirm payment options. Can I pay with card or cash upon delivery?
So maybe like a mini conversation. Hi, I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Sure. What would you like?
1 pepperoni pizza and 2 Cokes.
Got it. And what's the delivery address?
Simple, right?
Yeah.
It's all about clarity, being concise, and making sure you provide all the necessary information efficiently for a smooth transaction.
Now, when it comes to fast food places and cafes, there's a pretty distinct key difference from those full-service restaurants we've been focusing on.
How so?
Well, these venues usually involve much quicker counter-based ordering. The interaction is often much more direct, efficient, and frankly, purely transactional. You're typically not there to build rapport. You're just trying to get your food or drink quickly.
Right. So at a fast food place, you almost always go directly up to the counter to place your order. You might say, I'd like a hamburger and fries, please, or simply 1 cola, please. They'll pretty much invariably ask about size, small, medium, or large. And of course, that famous ubiquitous question you hear everywhere, for here or to go.
The classic.
Yeah.
Meaning simply, do you want to eat your food inside the restaurant premises, or are you taking it with you to eat somewhere else? And similarly, at a cafe, you typically look at the menu that's displayed prominently, often on a board above the counter. You can then just state your order clearly. Small coffee, please, or I'd like a latte.
Okay.
They might ask specific clarifying questions relevant to coffee, like with milk or with sugar. And if a delicious-looking pastry catches your eye in the display case,
Always happens.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to add, and 1 muffin, please, with your coffee. It's generally a very quick, direct exchange focused on getting your order right.
These straightforward ways to order food just ensure you're well prepared and ready for any kind of quick service situation, whether you're grabbing a fast bite to eat during your lunch break or simply enjoying a quick coffee on the go.
Now, to truly become proficient and genuinely well-informed in restaurant English, it's not just about mastering those specific ordering phrases. It's also really helpful to significantly expand your relevant vocabulary and maybe even understand some common food-related idioms. These extra layers add richness and confidence to your language skills.
Good point. So, beyond the main phrases we've thoroughly covered, knowing specific dining-related words will make you even more confident when you're looking at menus or talking about food. Think about the structure of a typical meal. You have the starter, or you might hear appetizer, especially in the US, referring to that first small dish.
Hmm.
Then the main course, that's the primary big dish of your meal, followed by dessert, the sweet treat at the end, maybe a side dish, an accompanying item like a serving of vegetables or fries ordered separately. And don't forget the special, that unique dish the restaurant is highlighting for that day or season, often not on the regular printed menu.
And for drinks, you'll encounter some nuanced terms that are good to know, like still water, meaning water with no carbonation, no bubbles.
Cut water.
Exactly. Then there's sparkling water, that's the fizzy carbonated kind. Soft drink, which is an umbrella term for non-alcoholic, usually carbonated beverages, often just called soda in the US. On the rocks, which is bartender's terminology meaning served with ice cubes, and no ice. It's crucial to say this clearly if you genuinely don't want ice in your drink, as it's often added automatically.
Right. And crucial for understanding what you're actually eating are these key menu words and descriptive adjectives. Knowing them helps you decode dish descriptions and make choices you'll actually enjoy. Things like vegetarian, indicating no meat and usually no fish either.
Important distinction.
Vegan, meaning absolutely no animal products at all, including dairy, eggs, or even honey sometimes. Gluten-free, vital for those avoiding wheat, barley, rye. Spicy, meaning hot, usually with chili heat. Sweet, sugary. Crispy, having a nice crunchy texture, often referring to fried foods or perfectly cooked skin. Grilled, cooked over direct heat or flames. And fried, cooked in hot oil or fat.
And to describe your food, whether positively or, if necessary, negatively, these useful adjectives come in handy. Delicious, meaning really very tasty, excellent flavor. Bland, lacking strong flavor. This can sometimes be used positively for delicate things, but often negatively for boring food. Salty, creamy, having a smooth texture, often involving dairy. And juicy, full of natural liquid, which is usually a great quality for cooked meats and many types of fruit. These words help you articulate your experience accurately.
This kind of bonus vocabulary is genuinely invaluable. It helps you not only decode menus much more effectively, but also enables you to ask even more precise questions and provide clearer feedback if needed, leaving you feeling fully prepared for pretty much any dining scenario you might encounter.
And, beyond the literal language of ordering and describing food, what's truly fascinating is how language extends into figurative meaning through idioms. Idioms related to food can add real character and color to your everyday English, even when their meaning isn't directly about ordering or eating at all. They offer a unique window into cultural expressions and often reveal surprising connections between food and other parts of life.
Exactly. These are the kinds of phrases that will make you sound incredibly natural in more casual conversation. For instance, having a bite to eat just means getting a quick, informal snack or meal. To wine and dine someone means to treat them to a rather luxurious and enjoyable meal, often with the intention of impressing them or persuading them of something.
Right, often for business.
Could be. If you foot the bill, it means you're the one who is paying for something, especially if it's a large or expensive amount. If something is on the house, it means it's completely free, paid for by the restaurant or bar as a gesture of goodwill or maybe an apology. And if you have a sweet tooth, it simply means you have a strong craving or liking for desserts and sugary treats.
And to expand on those just a little, you might agree to go halves with someone on a meal or a cost, which just means each person pays for exactly half of the total shared expense.
Yeah.
Or you might find a particular task or challenge to be a piece of cake, meaning it's incredibly easy and effortless to do.
Love that one.
It's great, isn't it? In conversations, people might just casually chew the fat, which means to talk informally and at length, often about unimportant or trivial matters, definitely not literally eating fat. And if someone is described as a big cheese, it means they're an important and influential person, usually within an organization or a specific community. And sometimes, ironically, you might find yourself saying, you have a lot on your plate, meaning you're extremely busy or stressed with numerous responsibilities or problems, which, as you can tell, has absolutely nothing to do with food itself.
Fascinating how food weaves its way into everything.
If we connect this to the bigger picture for you, our learner, these idioms are really more than just quirky or amusing phrases. They reflect deeper cultural nuances and attitudes surrounding food, work, social interaction, and even stress, adding another layer of those aha moments to your language learning journey. They profoundly illustrate how deeply ingrained food and the social act of sharing it is in our everyday expressions, even when the meaning becomes entirely figurative. Understanding them unlocks a much richer appreciation of the English language and its cultural context.
And there you have it. From confidently walking into the restaurant to artfully decoding the menu, placing your order with politeness, seamlessly customizing your meal, handling any unexpected bumps along the way with grace, and finally, settling the bill with ease, we've truly taken a comprehensive deep dive into mastering English for restaurants.
The core insight we really hope you take away from this deep dive today is that those seemingly small but deliberate adjustments in your phrasing, things like consistently adding those definite and indefinite articles, consciously using polite constructions like I'd like or I'll have instead of I want, and choosing the right precise verbs and adjectives, they make an enormous, tangible difference in how natural, confident, and fluent you sound to a native speaker. This isn't just about memorizing grammar rules, it's about developing cultural fluency. And consistent practice, even if it's just mentally role-playing these scenarios in your head or speaking the phrases aloud to yourself when you're alone, is genuinely key to embedding these patterns into your active natural vocabulary.
So, what does all this mean for you? Well, mastering these essential phrases and understanding their underlying nuances doesn't just help you get the right meal delivered to your table or avoid potentially awkward moments. It genuinely opens up doors to richer cultural experiences, allowing you to engage more deeply and comfortably with people and places when you travel or live abroad. It's really about understanding the subtle art of politeness and directness in English communication, and ultimately feeling completely at ease and genuinely in control in any dining situation you find yourself in. So, the next time you step into a restaurant, remember this deep dive. Where will your next confident English speaking meal take you? Before you go, remember this. Every word you learn makes you stronger. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. You'll find more lessons, more stories, and more English practice to help you feel confident in any situation. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need it. Let's keep learning together. See you in the next lesson.